Hello, everyone. Welcome to Extraterrestrial Evidence. I'm Roderick Martin, and today I have a special for you. We're going to be talking to two authors and about a new book. And when it comes down to books, I'm talking about the book that's for the right time. And here it is right here, E.T. and Friends. And this is for children when it comes down to our ufology and everything else. And so I'm really excited about this because it's the first of its kind that I know of. And basically, they're here to tell us why that they wrote this book, how did they come together, and why the timing is so important. So I'm going to introduce you to Mary Edwards here and Barbara Lamb, and they're going to share with you a little bit about who they are, their backgrounds a little bit if you don't know them already, and it's just going to be an exciting time. We're going to be here short, but at the end of this, we're going to also talk about how and when you can get this book that's going to come out, and I think it's grateful for there. So with that being said, Mary, I want to congratulate you and Barbara together for putting this book together. I think it's just a perfect timing for what we're doing today, and especially with children today. It's just a special moment. They are the future, and why not prepare them? And so with this book, like I said, I have a copy of it. It has some beautiful illustrations in it. I love it. Brings out the kid in me when I read this and everything else. So let me start with you, Mary. Tell us a little bit about you and who you are, and then we'll get to Barbara and she can tell us who she is and why you guys wrote this book.
All right. Well, thank you for having us. We're happy to be here. I'm Mary Edwards, and I have been an interior designer and an artist and a teacher for 40 years. I worked for NASA doing space station interiors and have had a lifelong dream to write a book like this for children. So I'm thrilled that I found Barbara Lamb to be able to work with her and I did the illustration, she did the writing to help create this book now, which is a moment in time with the curiosity in space. And we wanted to also open the door to engage and validate kids' experiences that they've had at this moment of time.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think it is the right time for this, Mary. And this book is so important. So as we get over here to you, Barbara, tell us, a little bit about you, and then why did you get involved with this project?
Okay. Well, I am a psychotherapist and hypnotherapist. And since 1991, I have been specializing in regressing people to details of their experiences with extraterrestrial beings. And in that work, I have come across knowing children who have had extraterrestrial encounters and have regressed some of them and have heard many of their reports about their experiences with the extraterrestrial beings. Many people, millions of people worldwide are having these experiences, including, of course, children. So when children tell their parents about experiences they've had with unusual visitors coming into their room at night, the parents often say, "Oh, it must be just your imagination." Or the parents will say, "Oh, you must have just dreamed that." And the children will usually say, no, it really, really happened. And they want to be believed. So the storyline of this book is that there is a little boy on a spaceship with extraterrestrial beings, and the boy is looking out the window and he's seeing planet Earth way off there in the distance. And he is thrilled to be seeing planet Earth from out in space. It's a happy experience. And then we see a boy, and in some instances a girl, having quite a variety of experiences with extraterrestrial beings. And in most cases, they consider those beings their friends. So they have many different experiences, 18 different kinds. And then it ends up with the boy being promised that when he grows up, he can be part of the great galactic federation, which is made up of many, many different kinds of extraterrestrials from various planets in the universe. So this is a great compliment to him. So this book is based on real experiences, and these stories are true stories that have really happened to children. So we want this book to validate children's experiences with these other beings. We want to assure children that they're okay and that they're going to be okay. And we want to help kids feel good about themselves for having these experiences, even though it's different than other children they know. And this will open up conversations between parents and children, or whoever reads the book to children.
That's
And
amazing, Barbara. And
that's a
okay, I'm
very
sorry.
important.
No, go ahead.
That's a very important aspect, that children and parents begin to really talk about this honestly and openly. And while the child is identifying with some experiences of this sort, it might help the parents to remember experiences that they had as children that might have been mostly buried in their memory. So it's the good opener upper. And as more and more unusual crafts are being shown to the public by our governments, and more people are thinking about the possibilities of somehow other beings coming from space, this is a perfect time to let people know some of what goes on between the occupants of those vehicles and human children. So we hope that this book will inspire people to believe in the possibility of friendships and good relationships that we can develop between us and other beings of other styles and shapes. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. And I mean, you said a whole thing that I think is really important. And I know, Mary, that, well, I can't say eventually, but it was your idea. It was something that was in you that you decided to write the book. I know you reached out to Barbara and you guys came together. So share with me, how did you come up with the concept? Why? And of course, your whole philosophy of the book itself too.
Well, thank you. And, as Barbara and I agreed, we know that there are millions of children and people of all ages who have had and continue to have these encounters with extraterrestrials of many species. And this book can be a helpful aid to validate and legitimize those experiences. We believe that anyone who is curious about ETs, UFOs, and the possibility of life in the universe will enjoy reading this book. We believe we are both experiences ourselves. And personally, for myself, I was a young child when I had these experiences. And this is really a lifelong dream to be able to write this book and to find Barbara that we could do this together. I felt I didn't have anyone to talk to growing up about this. I was a young girl when I had these experiences, and I have now 70 years old. So I've been waiting for a long time to find the right person for space to come back into our orbit again, which it was many, many moons ago, and to help others like me who felt very alone and confused and wanted really be able to help open a dialogue with each other. As Barbara and I and all of us who are parents, we know the importance of sitting down and reading to your children, and how art and design and illustrations help connect people to each other, to their parents, to others through playful and colorful illustrations to help reduce some of the fear and some of the reassurance and skepticism about having these encounters that many people do feel. So we hope to stimulate conversations between children and their parents and to educate others as well. This book is geared, as we said, towards children, but we owe great value to anyone who's curious about this whole new phenomenon coming out for young and old. to connect and keep their minds opened to the magic and the beauty of the universe that is now exploding before our very eyes in TV and on YouTube, and starting right here with this book. So we are very grateful to you, Roderick, to have us here today to support and congratulate us that our book just got published yesterday and will come out and hopefully become a reality in other people's lives too, as it has been for us as experiencers as well.
Wow, that is amazing. But I do have a couple of questions. I mean, let's talk about real quickly. I know we have a short time here, but talk about these illustrations. Who drew them? What was the idea? These are some beautiful colors, and I mean just everything. So I know you guys had children in mind, but I would just like to know who was the architect behind these illustrations.
Well, I drew all those. Barbara we talk about which different stories of the 18 stories that would be the most impactful and show a broad range of learning, healing, learning how to fly a craft, some of the wonderful opportunities and positive aspects of healing and learning how to heal with your hands that she had dug through in all of her many 4,000 regressions over the decades. So we handpicked those together, and then she'd draw me a little sort of stick figure, and I'd say, is this what an Arcturian looks like? And she'd text me back and say, no. And so I'd look it up. So we worked on it. These are a combination. I got a BFA and an interior design degree and an architecture degree, and I've never really illustrated a book, so this was the first time, but I used a combination of art and painting and illustration and drawing to try to bring these to life. So when kids are looking through it with their parents, they could go, oh, I could see that. Oh, that's interesting. Or maybe I had that experience that I hadn't even remembered that I had. I mean, it triggered a lot of things in me from my childhood experiences that I was blown away by. And now as an old person at 70, and I'm just beginning, because this has opened up my whole past to me in a whole different way today, now, as we speak about this, that I am so utterly grateful for both of you to be here with me, and for all of us to be sharing this story. And hopefully it will do the same for other people, young and old. As we know, Barbara and I've talked about it a lot, and she knows from her experience that many people in their late 50s or 60s happen to get unlocked or can unbury and handle whatever these experiences, because some of them are pretty scary, and they were for me. And then they were also wonderful, because I know I am helping humanity in a lot of ways by doing good that we're doing right now with creating this book for other people who've had uncomfortable or wonderful experiences, both. So the art came from my heart, and it came from our daily communication for 6 months. I was driving Barbara crazy, saying, what, do we do this? And then she'd say, no, do this. So we tried to make it as realistic as possible, and also in a playful, kind way, because we know that art does connect people to adventures and to themselves, to their hearts, and to memories, as all art does in humanity and life.
The main thing, I think, is that these stories in the book are based on real accounts that real people have experienced.
Yes.
So if you guys
that's, of course, it's the real stories that make it valuable. So we blend the art and the beautiful stories together to share.
Okay, so I'm very interested in, I have a question for you, for Mary, and you, Barbara, as well, whoever want to take the question. This is the book. I'm a parent, and there are certain times that you want to start the process of reading certain books. So what age would this book be appropriate to introduce to someone's child, or my child, if I had one in particular? So yeah, let's go into that.
I think age 6 would be a good age for beginning with this.
Okay.
The child can understand enough and articulate very well by that time. And so age 6 up through 10, 11, 12, I think would be appropriate.
That is a great age, because I think kids' imaginations are really flourishing at those ages. Because I know when I had my two girls, by time, well, of course, they was the terrible twos we talk about, but when they got about 5 to 6 years old, it was hands-on everything now. And so I think that's perfect. So as we come to a close, is there anything else you want to leave us with about this book? When is it going to be out? Where would they find it once it's out? And how would anyone contact you if they want you to speak to children at school, come to, if you guys do things like that, what happens next?
I think the book is available now on Amazon.com, and it's available in a hardback edition and also in a softcover edition, also available on Kindle. So Amazon.com is a great place for ordering it.
Okay. Well, all right. So I'm Roderick Martin, and what I'm going to do is, as always, thank people that's watching this video. If you had your children watching this video, this is the book to get. Okay. And I'm a UFO investigator, and so I know the challenges when it comes down to what we talk about in the future and what's going on in our industry and everything else. And I think our kids are the future. They're the next pilots in the spacecraft. They're going to be part of the explorations years to come. Why not prepare them? Why not have them to explore the world, the universe, and what's beyond where we are today? And so I think you guys have done an amazing job, and I'm just pleased to be here, to be allowed to present this as well. And I can't wait to the second and third edition, because I think we just, you know what I mean? I mean, this we got more stories, right? You guys have a whole collections of this thing, right? So
Sure.
I'm excited about that. So with that being said, I'm Roderick Martin, Extraterrestrial Evidence. You just heard from Mary Edwards. You just heard from Barbara Lamb, two of the most beautiful ladies that you can meet, and also very, very great authors when it comes down to the future. And I'm glad to that. So thank you guys for watching.